Displaced people in Yemen continue to suffer as the conflict escalates. With more than 4 million people displaced, the country is gasping to provide life necessities. This report has more details.
The United Nations announced that the conflict in Yemen has displaced more than 23,000 people in the country since the beginning of this year. The spokesman for the Secretary General of the United Nations expressed his concern about the dangerous situation in Yemen, which causes civilian casualties on a daily basis. United Nations spokesman outlined that more than 4 million men, women and children have been displaced across Yemen since the escalation in 2015, warning that severe shortages of funding threatens the flow of humanitarian aid to these individuals. During the past 5 months, United Nations data revealed that the Houthi escalation is causing the displacement of 12,000 Yemenis every month, noting that about 62,000 people have been displaced within 5 months. The Houthi militia has confiscated the homes and properties of people after their owners abandoned them and fled to areas under the control of the militia in search for living. In the city of Uraida, west of Yemen, the militia has sold the homes of the displaced people after they were forced out of them. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees said Yemen has currently the 4th largest number of internally displaced people worldwide due to the conflict. In its latest update for January 2022, the Commission added that more than 150,000 individuals were forcibly displaced last year. It added that Yemen remains one of the largest humanitarian crises in the world, and some 20 million Yemenis, or about 66% of the total population, are depending on urgent humanitarian assistance for their survival. The United Nations agency highlighted that about 80% of the displaced are women and children. 2.6 million IDPs suffer from severe food insecurity, and 80% of Yemenis live below the poverty line. According to the agency, more than 1.6 million IDPs live in 2,200 sites across Yemen, and only half of them are supported by humanitarian aid. Indeed, the internally displaced people in Yemen face many challenges, including the loss of livelihoods and urgent need for food, water and shelter, and are vulnerable to epidemics, food insecurity and malnutrition. Families living in displacement camps are exposed to constant threats of eviction and harassment. They also face difficulties in accessing clean water, basic medical care, and education.